don't expect that much impact from the Enigma outside of Black Hole. And it could be a really good Black Hole Enigma game because you don't have Silencer, you don't have Rubik, but trying to Black Hole a Medusa with Stone Gaze ready to go, that's a tall order for Chalice to kind of play around.
Get into it, John. We'll see what they can get done. Should be a very interesting game with these kind of drafts coming out from either side. See, against Soniqs, I mean, it was a great comeback last game around. RNG obviously not going to be too happy about that, and we'll try to pull off this game number 2 if they can. Very different kind of draft from either side, as they might just meet mid lane already. Now Quinn and MSS all there. Move down below fight yet. Both teams just gonna hold their own high ground and get prepared for the Banner Rune fight. And there certainly could be a big fight to break out here at level 1 between these two teams if they so wish over these bounty runes. You see Soniqs being very, very careful with their own positioning right now, just not allowing the opening, and they'll go for a 5-man smoke. They're gonna try for something. A bit of a wraparound through that dire jungle to get back onto the high ground and maybe get them from the backside. What's down? They were spotted out though by RNG. You're not really moving, just very, very patient here with Soniqs to set up.
The battle begins.
They're gonna come out of it though. RNG just kind of avoiding the. They'll still find 2 banner runes. In fact, they'll find 3 banner runes for themselves here. So RNG, not only did they get a smoke wasted here by Soniqs, but they'll find 3 bounties anyway. So happy days here for the Dire.
They do manage to clear out an ob's worth of release on Soniqs end from RNG, so they're providing a lot of coverage on mid. That's 2 wards to help Quinn secure that mid lane. And playing up against the Ember, I've seen the fuck Ember multiple times. It does feel like it's a lot better for Ember Spirit to play with. You can play tag very nicely, so Somna should have his work cut out for him. Again, Quinn's going to have to watch himself. The rotations down the line might not be the most amazing, but Kaka on the Tiny can at least help set up for the Avalanche spot if the opportunity presents itself down the line.
Top lane. And on X-Nova against Leslau and of course MSS. The Venge Dawnbreaker lane, it's a rather interesting one, isn't it, John? Like, it feels like it can get rather aggressive very, very quickly here from Soniqs. Into the Magic Missile and then say a Celestial Hammer and a Starbreaker, and you can get through Anna's HP pool very, very fast. Zex Nova trying to get aggressive here against Leslau, but he's going to be very cautious because MSS able to get much more aggressive on the Dawnbreaker. And again, I think once you hit those level 2 times, could be pretty dangerous times here for RNG.
No. They just melt. It's physical output on the Starbreaker, with a minus armor out from the Wave of Terror. He will not last too long on RNG's end, even with a refraction ready to go on Ana if he does pick that up. Does still opt for the meld with the side blades. There's no protection, understanding that he's still going to be a sitting duck anyway. Might as well try to dodge the vision. This is still, mainly a farming lane throughout, but it is Sonic that will look to be aggressive down bottom.
Have a go at Kaka, though he is barely going to survive the Fada, never mind. Going to catch him out on the Dazzle and does take him down. And once again, John, first blood is drawn by Soniqs down at the bot lane. This time around, though, it's not Yuwa taking it, but rather Kaka. Excuse me. Rather Kaka's the one dying to Fada.
Yeah. And this is the cause of concern for RNG. Like, this is a tiny Enigma lane. It can be aggressive if you try to play with a Malphus, but your value from the Eidolons is really lost. You are going to be able to farm them up, even without the split shot, just using the snakes to bounce around. Sure, it protects you as the Enigma, but you're bleeding a lot of farm onto Dusa. You are going to have a fairly stable time just farming up there in comparison. And that's something that can ramp up for the Dusa in comparison to the TA. Even in that aspect, as long as stacks are built up, it does feel faster for the Dusa to just sit there and farm with a split shot in comparison.
Should have healed myself.
Say that Fada does end up going down to Chalice eventually, so they do get a bit of sweet, sweet revenge here from RNG's end. So it does mean Yuwa can just stick around and keep his farm going, so no real pressure being placed on the Dusa. Meanwhile, top lane, however, Anna getting rather aggressive onto Leslau, almost losing his own life in the process. He's going to be able to back his way out as MSS climbing onto Anna, but he's the one to get aggressive on the TA. Leslau not looking to move in either. X-Nova is still there, just ready to protect Anna if necessary. And Anna feeling very, very safe here. He's going to keep his own farm going. And well, for Soniqs, they certainly have the kill potential in this top lane, but you don't really want to risk it right now. I think Leslau's just way too low on HP.
Yeah, just gonna play it safe, farm up while they can. Does have a good amount of stick charges or wand charges here on Leslau. They can look to make that counterplay, but just not the safest position in the world. You have room to maybe try to get the stacks. Unfortunately, the creep wave was dragged back, so not gonna have the smoothest time in sneaking that away. And overall, a bit of an even start, 1-1 so far. Slight lead for RNG. Does look like they're picking up the pace a lot better, especially with finding that kill early on and thought of punishing that Dazzle just a bit for the laning phase. Big thing now is going to be that mid matchup. I think you will have to watch and see who does get level 6 a little bit faster. Both mids are even, very even on the mid. More denies out from Quindo. That should lead to a faster 6 timing, and they can start playing around with that Dream Coil once it's up.
Absolutely. Win. I mean, last game around, just so important. This game around, kind of a similar story. Another crash coming up, this of RNG. So, a few lag issues going on. No problem, though. You can just kind of wait it out, and hopefully the issues get resolved rather quickly. John, 1-1 so far. Very slight net worth lead the way of RNG. Again, you kind of pointed out already, but Quinn's having a very good game on the puck so far, and should hit his level 6 timing before Somnus does. Any particular lane you'd like to see him rotate to here on the puck?
I think top is your best bet. Just slow down Ana. Ensure the TA has a bit of a rougher time in trying to eclipse that Medusa. And throw the timings off a little bit more. Probably your safest shot to play with once the Dream Coil's up. Ana does have refraction ups to level 1, to level 3, you know. Down the line should be around level 4 or 5 when Quinn does rotate in. So it can be a little bit more protected, but there's not too much you can do with the Ogre Magi to really stay alive there and kind of keep your TA going. As long as Soniqs finds the angle. So probably going to be gunning for that top lane when they get that possibility. And, you know, for Ana, it's a little bit of a slower start than you'd want in the TA. He is ahead in network, still head-to-head for most of these cores, despite the slight CS variations. So again, it's very even, but it does feel like RNG is more sensitive to that tempo. Because you are reliant on your TA and Ember to pop off. Like I think for the Enigma, it's not the toughest Enigma game in the world, but you do have decent cancels from Soniqs. Like we didn't even mention it, but you have the swap to kind of crow through a BKB black hole. You're gonna need the Lincolns anyway, and that's a lot of farm for Challenge to kind of work into. So you don't really care for the Enigma to kind of stay there. You know he's gonna be a non-factor for a long time. You need to gun down the TA and stop Ana from trying to farm here.
Bottom lane, Yawar. He gets tossed back by Kaka, and he's already out of mana. Yawar gonna try and run. Mango is there. In fact, the hill coming out farther. Barely saving the day. So Yawar, he'll be able to walk his way out with his life intact. A very nice toss back, though, from Kaka, John. It's still gonna waste a lot of time here for Yawar, and ultimately still a pretty big win for RNG.
You're going to feel pretty good about getting that aggression out, forcing your all the way back to the base, in the region from in. So it's giving a lot of time there.
A nice toss back this time. Farda getting caught out, and well, he does actually have the shallow grave, so he can buy himself a little bit of time, but ultimately the blocks are there. Chalice going to make sure he goes down, and at least for RNG, they do get something for their trouble.
Starting to get a lot of value out from that time, just getting the rotations out down the middle.
Trying to stop this, the Ember dropping very, very low, but MSS unable to get the job done. It seems like he's the one to drop an RNG. Be able to keep Somnus protected as he does go for a quick reset. Soniqs a little bit unlucky now in these past couple minutes, really getting punished by RNG. And considering the great laning stage they started with, they give too many kills back the way of RNG if you can avoid it.
You really don't want to see Somnus popping too hard. That's going to be a massive issue for the side of Soniqs. Again, we talked about the Ember being the one thing that Soniqs is going to have a hard time dealing with, and Somnus is already off to that great start you'd want him to be on. Like, how are you going to stop the Ember? You really only just have Venge stun or the silence coming out from Quinn. That's it. Like the rest of your stuns are very
Radiant's middle
unreliable.
tower is under
Again, the
attack.
shard timing for Fat is going to be the big one, but shards, dazzle, it's not a high priority in most cases.
Bot lane, a bit more aggression coming out as Farah ends up dropping once again on the Dazzle, so Chalice suddenly on a killing spree on the Enigma. A pretty damn good lane for himself, and you look at Yawan, his farm on the Medusa now, John, it's really starting having their way with this bot lane, and of course Farah on the Dazzle, while he's playing a rather lane-dominant hero against the tiny Enigma, it has proven to be rather difficult for him. So Yawa now, he's the one being targeted. You already saw Kaka trying to have a look, see if he can find Yawa behind that tier 1 tower, but Yawa really just hugging it, making sure he doesn't give the opening over to Kaka to get the toss back.
Dire's middle
Feeding
tower
back
is
top.
under attack.
Gonna show up now on the Ember and really just find out where this Medusa's gone. They might just go right in for a dive. He's only level 4 in this Medusa. Nothing really to be afraid about it, but they even have the black hole if they need it. But they won't. Yawa is gonna drop. As Quinn, he's gonna try and force a fight out of this, but the toss is there. He's looking rather unhealthy as now the black hole is out, but it does get cancelled. It won't matter though, they already found Quinn. The Sonic something. And that is gonna be Chalice on the Enigma. But they lose so much in the process.
Subtle bird.
Losing your juice at this point, way too much to sacrifice on the side of Soniqs. They do have some decent stacks in the triangle, not the biggest amount, but enough for Yor to maybe catch up if he does manage to get that done. And we can see here again what that movement was like coming out. Just really a lot of commitment out from RNG. They know Yor is way too far behind. It's a nice simple kill. They get some punishment, it's just not worthwhile.
It certainly wasn't. I mean, Quinn, he rotates, but I think he realizes there's just no chance of saving the Medusa, and well, they
Radiant's
commit the
bottom
black hole,
tower
but
is under
even if
attack.
it does get cancelled off instantly, it's kind of like, who the hell cares? You already got the mid puck. You may as well call it just a commitment, right? Like, the black hole's well and truly worth it.
Yeah, I'm really impressed to see how Caucus managed to work that lane. We talked about the Enigma plus the Tiny maybe going a bit slower. We saw Kaka die off a little bit earlier as well, but he's just been finding the angles, getting all these tossbacks, playing with a Malefice well coming out from Chalice, and they've been cleaning up. Like this blink timing on her pause for timing's gonna be really quick for Kaka. So the initiation's gonna be on hand. They've got ways to follow through for the Ember. Somnus can kind of hang back further and wait for that opportunity as they just have a lot of angles for RNG to play with right now. For Soniqs, it does feel like you're going to be waiting for your War farm and for some farm to come out from Let's Allow as well.
X Nova. Gonna drop now on the Ogre, so Quinn does it. Find himself something on the puck. His first kill of the game on that puck, in fact, so happy days for him. 3-6 now. That's 2K net worth lead to go the way of RNG. It does seem like Soniqs, they want to try and get aggressive over this 10-minute power rune, but RNG, they may do the exact
Radiant's
same.
top tower is
Already
under
grouping
attack.
up and getting ready. Quinn,
Dire's middle tower
we find to
is
go
under
for the Dream
attack.
Call onto Somnus. There was no stun out onto the puck, but eventually they will land a nice avalanche. Keep moving in, but Somnus, he's going to drop immediately.
Dire's middle tower
Who's down a
is under
Farder on the
attack.
Dazzle, and with that, you might not get the rune you wanted, but who the hell cares? Eventually, Quinn will find it anyway. So he gets the Arcane rune, and on top of that, they get the mid-Ember.
They've still got that combination to play with on Soniqs. I mean, the swap Dream Coil. Very basic, but very effective to get that control. And RNG just getting a little bit too keen to be aggressive there. They had Kaka hanging around, it just wasn't enough. And now Soniqs in feeling a little bit better. They are still behind. They've got enough to at least get a smoke play out once more on Fata and MSS, looking to play top.
They are. That's now.
Radiant
In a
structures
bit of danger.
are fortified.
He's going to be just fine. MSS, the one to move in, and Kaka now the one in trouble. Will go for a bit of a run out. Anna, no, never mind. They want the big target. Do they have a stun though? They have a swamp, and that'll be enough for them to secure the
Radiant's
kill.
middle tower is
Anna
under
does
attack.
drop, and that's a massive kill for Soniqs to try and secure. A little bit more now. Quinn, we'll have a look around.
Radiant's middle
Sun
tower
is out
is
though.
under attack.
He has found X Nova, or has RNG found them? They'll move in onto Farder. Trying to go after the Dazzle first. Somnus even shows up, and now a black hole. Chalice catching both of them in the black hole. And eventually, it doesn't end up being the worst trade in the world for RNG. You still lose that POS 1 TA, but you at least find a decent trade for it. The Coil, oh, never mind, it's not so much of a decent trade. They got Karka on the Tiny, and suddenly the trade looks a lot better for Soniqs.
Dementia just catch a bit of a straggler. Kaka just running around looking for a little bit more. Maybe looking to swing towards mid to get something done. Does get punished in the side of Soniqs.
Radiant's
And they're
middle
still a
tower is
little
under
bit behind,
attack.
but you have managed to put a lid on Ana just a bit and just slow down that TA timing. Although, Fata.
So not too hard of a kill to secure. Fata. They go for a run with the pig pole, but eventually Somnus will have his way with it. RNG
Dire's top tower is
moving
under
forward,
attack.
trying to find a few more targets. MSS off the fire blast here from X-Nova. Eventually they'll move in with Somnus. Yeah, another nice easy pick off here for the Ember. A double kill for Somnus as they move into that mid tier 1. They'll secure. Oh, and suddenly RNG
Dire's top tower
really
is
getting
under
aggressive though. Anna, well played. Moving on to Leslau now, so even more kills to come the way of RNG, it seems. It's X-Nova. They move in with the stun, and that'll set up perfectly. Anna, he'll take the kill for himself on the TA. And RNG, they are looking pretty darn clean so far for game 2.
Yeah, they're playing it really well there. They've got their aggression lined up. They're even clearing out these stacks just a bit. They take out the large camp. They can't quite clear out the ancients just yet, but they're
Radiant's top
cutting off
tower
these
is under
avenues
attack.
for your war to build up. The Dusa is still a ways off from the Manta, and gonna need either the Dragonlance or BKB on top of that before you really feel comfy. Sonics are gonna just have to rely on Quinn once more to make the place. They are smoked up though. Maybe looking for the angle up top, but doesn't look like they'll find anything juicy. X-Nova's there to break it.
Let's get out with the orb, but really feel confident, it doesn't seem. Or maybe he does now with the green coil. He'll catch the orb. The Solar Guardian is going to be there to follow up as they do break the coil eventually, but Talus is going to drop, and so will X-Nova. Great setup there from Quinn. Fata
Dire's top
handing the
tower
tip
is
over
under
immediately as now Sonics,
Dire's
they can focus.
structures are fortified.
Mind you, the bottom tier 1 was already taken out by RNG, but nevertheless, pretty big win here for Sonics.
They've got a little bit of room to open up the map, get a little bit more farming space for your war,
Dire's top
and
tower is
they're
under
starting to
attack.
build into that
Dire's
Ags
top
timing for
tower has
Leslau.
fallen.
So double Venge going to be up on hand. Shard timing is going to be key as well for Venge. Once you've got that, the team fights feel a lot more manageable. Still though, look at RNG. Kaka's keeping an eye on your war, not letting him get some free EXP while farming out. So every single move they make does have a cost. RNG is starting to clump around that triangle here as well.
Has been killed.
Go.
Dire's
Win.
top tower is under attack.
But now, but the chase is on. Snow Gaze to make sure they're safe. Is now Fata. Get caught out, and he might just give the sacrificial lamb here. He will get taken down after the shallow grave does expire. Still keeping up with the aggression, wanting to continue moving in. Yeah, a little bit too early to try and go for tier 2 mid towers, but they certainly want to try and assert their dominance on the map. They find a chain down now onto Quinn, but they have the follow-up stun. Quinn, he'll be fine to just orb himself out of there. Like, he won't even do that. RNG, again, with this kind of aggression, if they can keep this up, they are certainly just going to buy so...
They're very close to Ana having that full Desolator up now. He's going to have it. They find Leslau.
They do. Venge. He's got swap up, but he's got nothing to swap to, sadly. So Leslau eventually just going to go down. No problem. Soniqs. They are going to group up, but it seems like they're just kind of posturing around your war and making sure that they just can't dive the triangle, go after that Medusa. Quinn, give aggression out onto the Tiny. Karka, gonna be just fine. RNG. At the opening. Make this team fight work, but Sonics, they are playing very, very safely here and just not gonna give the opening away. It could just up down the, maybe even force a fight on their end of things. Scream Coil is there. Chalice already caught up. Reswell, they'll go for the swap onto the Enigma. Karka in the meantime with a very nice avalanche cross combination, but it won't matter. Quinn is going to survive. Never mind, he won't. X-Nova still finds the kill on the Ogre. They'll try to chase him down and punish now, but Anna has joined the fray. They'll go after MSS on the Dawnbreaker, and they'll... Not done yet. They'll chase down Leslie on the bench. Will fit her now a chains down. Somnus will find a third target. Make it a fourth as Leslie. Certainly not making it out of this one. A triple kill up by Anna. And with the Deso up, they might be able to actually force Roshan.
They've got a really good timing into the pit here. RNG just cleaning up in a big way. Soniqs having issues dealing with all of that, and mobility is starting to really ramp up, as you can see here. Yuar is just trying to farm up on the side. They do manage to cut off Chalice from doing much, but they have to expend both Dream Coil and the swap. So that's a lot of ults just to stop the Enigma, and that leaves them with very little play afterwards.
Goes the Aegis. Anna, go ahead and pick that up for himself. RNG now 3k ahead. Soniqs again.
Thanks.
Well, there's not too much to be worried about here for themselves. It's going to try and play the slow game against RNG, but it is proving to be rather difficult here as it seems like the aggression just never stops.
Dire's bottom
Keep in mind
tower
as well,
is under
John, Chalice
attack.
is getting very close to having a blink up now on the Enigma. And suddenly you're going to have some great initiation from Chalice.
It does make it a lot easier for Chalice to get that black hole. It's not even necessary in these fights, right? Like, they're still managing to find all these great angles without that spell.
Yeah, so let's get caught out, so at least they'll find Farter as well. We'll pick off there once again from RNG, and Chalice will happily take the kill. Go, Karka. Onto the vents this time around. They've actually done another. Leslie. Kind of getting caught with his pants down there in the mid lane and taken out so easily. And suddenly they're officially
Radiant's
up
middle
on
tower
Chalice.
is under attack.
Yeah, that's massive. There are still good ways to cancel from the side of Soniqs, though. The swap's still going to be big. You're more than likely not going to catch the Venge in your black hole, so you've always got, at the very least, the Magic Missile and the swap to play with there if things get dicey, but it's still a
Dire's
huge
top
piece of
tower
control,
is
especially
under
just to
attack.
jump onto Quinn.
Radiant's bottom
Even if you
tower
commit a
is
one-man
under
black hole
attack.
onto the puck, it's worthwhile. That's your
Radiant
one
structures are
here that
fortified.
you have a bit of a tough time holding down, and you cut Quinn off, you once again clear out the team fight from Soniqs, as we saw in Game 1 early on.
More aggression, RNG. Ripping up once again.
Dire are scanning.
Towards the north they go. Quinn, oh, he'll be a great target. Karka, he's right in with the avalanche toss. All the way, but Chalice is on the chase and there's just nowhere to jaunt to. Quinn, he'll try to duke them out towards the south, but it is not going to work. Not putting the, not letting the foot off the pedal here, John. Just keeping the aggression going as even now, mid lane trying to bait for a bit more. Poking and prodding at Leslie.
Radiant's courier has been
Really
killed.
able to really set up a team fight, but he does find a very nice courier kill.
That's the full ag's gone for 2 minutes. That's the big spike they're waiting for here on Soniqs, to have that extra utility on Leslie, to have him just swap in, die, get his stuns off,
Radiant's
swap
top
again,
tower is under attack.
just wreck complete havoc on the fights. 2
Radiant's
minutes,
top
it's a lot of
tower
time for
has
RNG.
fallen.
That could open up possibility for even gunning for these tier 2s with the Aegis protection, which is also up for 2 more minutes on Ana. They clear out top, they take control of the triangle, they're cutting off the farm sources for Yuar. Medusa severely behind that TA. He had a smooth start for Yuar. He does have the Manta, but he needs so much more now, considering how far ahead Ana is.
Lane, what they got, it's going to be Farter. He's trying his best to just get these waves pushed out, but he's going to die for this, and he knew this was coming. No way to get out, as no point TPing either, as Somnus will just hold on to the chains, just in case he thought about it. I suppose now you can just set up for the bottom tier 2. Like, you've still got the Aegis up, you've got Eidolons, you've got a hell of a lot of damage. There's just nothing in the way of stopping you if you are in.
Radiant's bottom tower is
Not
under
too much
attack.
threat there. Fortify will
Radiant
stall for a
structures are
bit, but
fortified.
that should
Dire's
open up more
structures
avenues
are
for them. They're
fortified.
giving a lot of space for Ana up top as well with that pump and bot, although they are chasing.
Coil is there, and it'll be a great kill, but they've got to find 2 lines here. The TA should lose the first, though Anna, he'll go for a man fight onto MSS, eventually getting stunned up as RNG. They are rushing to try and help out their TA, but Anna is so far away. Here comes Taka with a great avalanche, and blink away Anna. He's actually out of it. Just one avalanche gets the job done. They couldn't take him out a second time. I suppose at least he got the Aegis.
And you got the Aegis, but it only had, what, maybe a minute left on it. Good timing for RNG to get max value from that. And Soniqs just not quite the way they'd want that to unfold. They will have the Ags coming through Leslau for a respawn, but RNG understanding all the resources expended. No Stone Gaze. Easier time to get a black hole, especially if you catch Avenge. And they managed to clear out the tier 2 bot, so Outpost is under control of RNG now.
Mid lane, now they're gonna try and fight. Taka is there with another great avalanche cross combo. He's found two of them. Leslau, he might just lose his remnant, or maybe not, but they'll lose Smarter instead. Chalice with a black hole out. He's caught Yawar on the Medusa. A nice swap away, but it's not going to be enough. Yawar, still within range banner, is going to go down. A triple kill for the TA now, and well, for old Soniqs, it just feels like they've got no chance in these fights. So much to worry about here from RNG, and they might just go high ground.
Yeah, they've got the opportunity to do so. We will see that fight again. Just a lot of commitment out from RNG, and it does pay off. Soniqs, without the angle, they had the swap save, just not enough, especially without the dazzle around the shallow grave, and just all falls apart. You're just way too low in levels, it feels like, coming through here from the side of Soniqs. Like, you want that bench to be higher, you want more items to be coming through. Yawar just isn't there, and RNG manages to find the angle to make it work.
What's get done? It's just such a rough game for them. They're gonna smoke up. Quinn will wrap around with the rest of his team. Through that Radiant jungle. They will spot out X Nova, but the problem is they've got perfect vision around this area, RNG. They could definitely go for a fight if they really want to. Arda, he'll go for a D ward. Remnants forward, those Somnus will wait. Eventually will be able to. Arda. Already gone. RNG, maybe just a little bit hesitant to go high ground once again, considering what happened in game 1, but they are certainly just dominating the map, and unlike last game, John, 14k net worth lead without the Alchemist, much more impactful.
Way more impactful for RNG. The TA is not as much of a time trap. It does have scaling into the late game. Although ultra late game, it does feel a little bit better for Adusa, but that's considering like nearly like 7 slots on both heroes with swapping around BKB. I'm not sure if Soniqs has that much time, considering how well RNG is playing this game already. It does look like RNG, as you mentioned, Mike, tempering their time, waiting for that next row. Still a minute here and timer, but they've got the hold in the triangle. They dip out onto that tier 2. They could find several targets. Leslau is in a prime position, but they've got good forward boards.
Not quite the top he wanted. It's not an illusion. Leslau will go for a swamp, but Chalice has the Lotus Orb. Taka still being focused down. Chalice will just go for a Midnight Pulse and back his way out as Yawar. Already popping the Stone Gaze defensively. In the meantime, Somnus finding MSS. He'll get called up, but he still seems to be just fine. They're trying to focus him down, but they don't have the damage. Carter's down again. Anna just cleaning up as he's not the get ripped a new one here, RNG. Making it look so darn easy. I suppose you could think about going high ground if you really want to, but
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
They do head off into the mid lane.
Trying to work that creep wave to their favor. Roche still a ways off here. 2.5 minutes for the respawn. So a lot more time for them to have to wait for that one. They're pretty geared out in Ana. Don't think they really need to wait for that much more on their TA. Full Hurricane Pike is up as well. And they've got the traps to keep an eye on Roche, but still not pushing that envelope. Really great cut there from Somnus onto backline. Just instantly finding that Dawnbreaker, preventing the Solar Guardian from coming out. MSS tried to channel, was cut off, and without the sustain, without the follow-up stuns, Soniqs team fight just kind of fell apart. again, for Soniqs lineup, it does feel like they need so much more time here, Mike. Like, you want Venge levels, you really want level
Radiant's
25 in
top
Venge,
tower
but
has fallen.
you don't even have BKBs to worry about yet. You're going to want way more farm on your war. He doesn't even have his second
Radiant's
item after
top
the Manta.
tower is under attack.
The Scotty's a long ways off here for the Dusa. So there's so much more stalling that Soniqs will have to take. But we saw it in game 1, where the game dragged long enough that Soniqs climbed back in. Could be the same here for RNG if they kind of slow down too much, but they've still got a great lead. BKB up in Chalice. This means that for Soniqs, the Black Hole are a consistent threat, especially if they don't manage to get the Stone Gaze off in time. You're fully reliant on Leslau with
Dire's
swap to
bottom
stop
tower
that.
is under attack.
Now, no high ground attempt coming out. RNG. Be patient. Bot lane, Kaka attempting to find somebody, but barely missing out. Soniqs grouped up as a team. Somnus his way up to the high ground of that Radiant Triangle, but back his way out immediately as Quinn will make the jump in, but he only finds the Ogre in that coil, and Somnus will happily force the fight. Again, aiming down the Dazzle. He's already found Barda. Go for more now. They spot out Yawar. They try and force down on Lesnar, but Yawar, he's going to try and force the fight with the Stone Gate. A great cross back once again onto the Medusa, and now the Black Hole. It's cancelled off, but what does it matter? They've already got the Medusa down. Everyone just falling left, right, and center here for the side of Soniqs. There's just no chance of survival. The only survival was Quinn.
The only one able to bail out, but it doesn't bode well. RNG has a good angle to push onto the high ground. 2 lanes are shoved in Sonic's favor though. So after the first wave, this is going to be a little bit tough to sustain that push. Take a look at that last fight once more while the high ground occurs. Just very awkward fight to take. Instantly jumping Fata. As game 1, they realize their mistake. These sustained heroes have to go in the front line. You have to take them out early.
Kaka's just doing a great job on this tiny. I mean, he is great toss back onto Yuan, splitting him up from the rest of the team, and they just can't help him. There's just too much to worry about. But you even saw Chalice throughout the Black Hole, and it got cancelled off immediately. It just doesn't matter though. It's one of those things. What do you worry about? Do you worry about your ward? Do you worry about your own life? Just so many things to consider here for the side of Soniqs. And another thing to consider right now is the fact that RNG are going to take down this Roche. Test coming, though they are rushing their way over. They're all going to stop that onto Anna. Maybe they can set up here. So Anna still alive but barely. Might just drop a great avalanche, but eventually they will find the TA. Not a bad start here for Soniqs. Quinn, he does go down, but he'll buy back. Onto the puck. Trying to make his way back into the team fight as they do find Leslau. Quinn, here he comes with that buyback. Trying to convince him. Dallas will go for a TP up, but won't quite make it. They do stun him up, so he has to go to the fan fight. Kaka also trying to run, but they do take him down eventually. Soniqs now have control over the Roshan pit, and RNG, it's up to them whether they want to commit their own buybacks to try and force this fight. And it seems like they do. Kaka commits. That's not going to be enough though. They might need the TA to commit that buyback.
But it's a slower Roche one. It's not taking, it's way too slow. There's enough time to run up and force the play.
Flyback now from Anna. Roshan slowly going down. Kaka might need to rush in. They've got vision now. Solar Guardian is there to try and get him healthy as they do end up getting the Aegis onto Yawar and MSS. Already gone, but so is Kaka. It's a dieback immediately on the Tiny. Nana now, and he just fought back. They don't really want to die like this. Leslau, he might lose his first life, but he's still got the Remnant available. And Anna, he might die back on the TA, and he has. Oh boy. RNG, what have they done? 2 diebacks here for the dire end. I mean, even if the team fight's rather even, but it's still going. Somnus not done with Yawar yet. He's gonna. They do get him. Can they get him another time? It seems like they can. They have Black Hole, but they may not need it, John. It seems like Yawan's just stuck there at the midnight pulse anyway.
Yeah, I mean, he's got the Stone Gaze to maybe try to bail out. He's gonna TP, but it's lucky.
Danger there. Dallas gonna turn around the mountains now, and Noir eventually gonna ties. Understands he can't do anything. So you do commit 2 diebacks for that fight, but I suppose in the end it still works out the way of RNG.
It does. They nullify the Aegis advantage that Soniqs wants to play with. Soniqs realistically are still racks down. 16 to 43, 18k lead for RNG. It still feels even. Like, you look at that last fight in this replay here, it looks super dicey for RNG, right? Like, they force the buybacks, they lose on quickly. He does melt a lot here, so the double damage coming out. Buybacks a little bit later. Roche goes a bit too slow for Soniqs, though, so it gives RNG that room to think about that movement in and to find that angle to force this fight.
John, it just a very messy kind of team fight here. Is Yuwa, he got the Aegis up, he got X Nova, but it's starting to slowly fall apart. They just went a bit too far chasing them down, and it looked
Radiant's
great.
middle tower is under attack.
Kaka, but well, after that, it just didn't seem to matter. Like, Somna's doing so much work on the Ember, getting that job done, and yeah, Quinn even dying back himself in the puck. Is now another team fight to break out. Kaka gonna be okay, and so will Leslau. Yeah, looking for a jump back in though on the bench, it
Radiant's middle
seems.
tower is under attack.
Kaka, he'll make the jump in himself. Find that initial line. He pulls his own line to that open. Here comes RNG. They want the fight now. Fada, immediate target. Chalice, he's still got the BKB Black Hole available. Rather just the Black Hole, but he doesn't need it. He just doesn't need it. Onto Yuwa they go. They've got the Medusa lockdown once again, but the Stone Gaze is going to buy her the space she needs to back her way out. With the Black Hole still up.
Nothing to stop from the side of RNG. And I mean, you still have your puck around, no Dreamcoil to play with. Yuara doesn't have a Stone Gaze. The teamfight hold just doesn't feel amazing. And Anna's got the damage to just rip right through. Fortify forced out early, but the creep wave isn't even there. The second creep wave will come in, providing no backdoor protection for Soniqs, and RNG's going to be able to find more.
Radiant's top tower has fallen. Radiant's top barracks are under attack. Radiant's top barracks has fallen.
They could head down bottom and go for the Megas if they really want to, but they might choose to play it safe. On this, Boyle is there, Quinn, gonna try and set up at the BKB. It was available to stop this, so Leslau has to swap him out, but there's your Black Hole, and immediately on Quinn. Has taken out with that flyback. Onto Leslau they go. They want the bench as well, and they'll find a bench. No problems. 2 down now for Soniqs. We'll put the buyback on Leslau. That is probably not going to stop the fact that this tier 3 tower is going to drop eventually, and so will the bot racks. They've got to find a way to successfully fight RNG here on the high ground. They're going to try with
Radiant's bottom tower
Smoke is there. An avalanche is out once again from Kaka into the crossback. He wants the dieback from Leslau. He might just get it. In fact, they will. They do drop X Nova for this, but Anna moving right in on the T8, finding another target. In fact, there's Sparta. A third one banner if he wants it. This might just be GG. He's just going to call it here. Butterfly board out for you all, but it does nothing. Thanks for RNG. The series is going to end up in a 1-1, Jonathan.
It keeps the pace for RNG, finding a draw earlier in the day, keeping up the draw here with Soniqs. Soniqs, unfortunately, not able to fully after their 0-2 loss, but they do a great job in putting a great fight up against RNG. Game 1, of course, went their way. It was a great comeback from them to hold out against Yalk. They couldn't repeat the same here. They needed to hold out a lot longer with Reduce, and we talked about it from draft, right? The big issue for Soniqs was holding down Somnus.